What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Ratchet Motors YouTube channel. So I know it's been a little while since we posted a video, but honestly we're just still waiting for parts right now. So we got some things lined up for the F100. We're waiting for some parts to come in. We're also waiting for a few parts for our Triumph Thunderbird so we can finally hear that thing fire up. And with our Beetle, right now, honestly, everything is actually going pretty good. The only thing I'm really trying to figure out with that is a wheel and tire package. But in the meantime, I have been working on a few things here or there, so I figured I'd kind of share some of my carpentry projects that I've been going through. So what you'll see in this video is a table I made using just a spare door I had sitting around and some 2x4s. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so what we have here is a solid core door. In the past, we actually used this as a table in our garage. Now that we're really getting into the 3D printer here, I want to give it a good table to work off of. Also use it maybe to work on some of my RC cars. Kind of getting back into that now that it's getting a little cold out to do stuff outside. So get those RC cars back together. But first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to fix up this table just so that it matches the overall decor of my maker space. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to take off this metal plate here on the bottom. I'm just going to make it look less like a door. I'll take off the metal plate. I'm going to sand down all the finish that's on here, and then I'm probably going to stain it to match the countertop or the tabletop I have in my office. And then I'll probably paint the legs and stuff white. I still have the legs from when I originally created the table, all made out of 2x4s. I'm going to cut down some of my my other members to match once we cut down this table, because I don't need it to be the full size of the door. It's extremely heavy. So I'm actually going to cut it down so I can create a shelf, and then I'll use the other part of it as my tabletop here. So we'll go dive right in. So we get everything cut to length here with pretty much no complications. So we get our door cut down. You see on the right over here, we also have our shelf sitting on the floor. We'll probably get to that later. But what we'll do with both actually is we'll sand them down completely to get any of that surface finish off. And then I'm gonna try to stain them to match what I have in my office. So first step is just a lot of sanding, get all of that finish off. We'll get it down to raw wood, and then we'll start staining it. All right, so we did a little work on the test piece here. And overall, just a little more work than I'm looking to get into. I realized I thought this was going to be solid wood here. We'll get a little bit closer. I thought this was going to be solid wood here, but what this actually is like an MDF material, almost encased with 2 pieces of plywood, it looks like, with a finish on it. We see I did the 40 grit. I started with the 120. It did basically nothing. Then I went to the 40 grit and still wasn't doing too much. There's a lot of work to get this down to what appears to be bare plywood. So a little bit of change of plans here. I was originally going to stain the door. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm glad I had that test piece to kind of figure this out. Now what I'm going to do is on the main tabletop surface that I'm going to use, I'll just rough it up. And I'll hand paint, actually with a roller. I'll just apply some roller paint on here instead and just get something close to match our other materials. So what we'll do, like I should say our other materials, our other surfaces in my office, my maker space. So what I'm gonna do is run to the store real quick. We'll see what type of paint we have. I'll probably put down a layer of primer and then a layer of paint just to make sure everything sticks. And we'll just use the orbital sander over there. Really just scuff everything up so the primer has something to stick to. All right, so it's been a couple days here. We're back at it. So you can see we got the legs that I originally created from my old table setup. What I'm going to do now, I have all the raw material I need. I'm just going to take some measurements for the, let's see, the 8 extra pieces of wood I'll need just for bracing between all these legs. Then I'll cut them all up. I'll get them sanded down so they're nice and smooth. And I'll try to paint everything right in here in the garage. I'm just going to use a roller with paint for this. So what I'll do actually is I'll get all of the, I guess the frame members all painted. Then I'll reassemble them and actually mount them to the table just to make sure everything's painted so that we don't get any issues or any gaps with paint. So again, just gonna rough cut everything now, get everything right to the correct lengths, sand all that stuff down, and then we'll go ahead, we'll make all of the frame white, and we'll paint the actual tabletop, the door here, with this color I found from Krylon. It's like a leather brown or something like that. I was just looking for whatever was cheap and easy to roll on. So we'll see how that works and how that matches the rest of my office. All right, so we got everything sanded. We got the whole area cleaned up here. So now we're gonna go ahead and put down our first coat of white on all of the frame pieces. So we'll just use the roller to make it easier. We're just gonna roll white on all of these, and then we'll give it about an hour to dry before we flip it and go and do the other side. All right, so we get everything painted here. I'm actually really happy with how everything came out. Again, we're not looking for perfect, just trying to get it good enough here. So I think the next thing I'll do is I'll actually just sand down all the ends of the different pieces of wood, just to make sure we get a nice fit between everything. And then I'll start bolting it or screwing it all together. All right, it's a new day today, and I am actually stoked with how this came out. It came out way better than I expected, to be honest. Still seeing that it's a door clearly. Kind of funny, you just kept that lock mechanism on there. But we're pretty much good to go. What I'm going to do, this isn't connected or attached or anything. I'm going to take the frame and bring that upstairs to start, just to make some space back in the garage. I do want to put one shelf on the bottom. We'll just lay some plywood down on the bottom so that we can actually sit things on it. And then from there, we're good to go. So we'll get everything out of here. We'll just make the shelf kind of on its own. And we'll get this set up in my office so I can put my 3D printer on it. All right, so that's everything we have for today's video. The good news is, now that our table is all put together, all the parts for the Thunderbird have showed up, which means our next video is definitely going to be that first fire up of that bike, and I'm super excited for that. We've never heard it run. The previous owner never heard it run. So this is a big moment for the Thunderbird, honestly. So as always, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe for more content and share with your friends, and hope to see you again soon.